Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm excited to have you back for another really fun guest today. I've got Paul Farnsworth from B&B Theatres here with me today. We're going to dive into the history of this family-owned theater that has been here for well over 100 years, and we're going to talk all about what makes B&B Theatres such an incredible movie theater experience for all of us. So be sure to tune in to hear the full story, and I'm excited for you guys to meet Paul. All right, Paul, thank you for coming on the podcast.
You bet.
I am so excited to have you here today.
Well, thanks.
B&B Theatres. You have a long history with B&B, which I'm excited to dive into.
Yeah. I have a long history with them, and they have a long history without me, before I even came around.
Yeah. All right. So, Paul, you are the Executive Director of Communications and Content for B&B Theatres.
That is correct.
Tell me a little bit more about what that means. And by the way, as I mentioned to you before the podcast, you are essentially kind of an actor of itself, right? Like, you are so good on your TikTok. You've got a whole persona.
Yeah.
You've got all this stuff I never even knew about. And now I am just like going down the rabbit trail and watching all of your content that you're creating for all the movies. And
thank you for saying such nice things. I don't know that I feel like an actor per se. Okay. I think I just drew sort of the short straw when we were like, we need somebody to create some short form content. I guess this is a thing that people are doing. And here we are like 8 years later.
He's a good storyteller.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Well, good. Well, congratulations on 100 years. B&B Theatres.
Thank you. Yeah.
Not for you, 100 years.
No. Yeah. Since 1924, we've been doing our thing in one way or another.
Okay.
It's been a wild journey.
Yeah. Tell us what you do with B&B Theatres, and then we'll get into, of course, how long you have been there.
That's a great question. So, my title is Executive Director of Communications and Content, which means different things on different days, frankly.
Yeah.
The communications part, I oversee our communication strategy generally. Anything internal or external sort of comes across my desk to get my eyeballs on it. I handle media relations, government relations a little bit if and when that occurs, which it rarely does.
That sounds a little daunting.
Well, yeah, and we have other people who I defer to. I'm like, I would say this, but I don't know anything about the law or whatever. So, and then, working with our partners and vendors just to kind of make sure that we are representing their interests appropriately and that they understand kind of what we need out of the relationship.
Yeah.
But then content, I think, has kind of become more of my day-to-day.
Yeah. How so? Because you are doing a lot of social media appearances, which I love.
Well, we have contractual obligations with our studio partners, which sounds more daunting and intimidating than it is. Basically, we've reached the point on our platforms, particularly on TikTok, where they are like, we will give you a supplemental budget to create content exclusively for our titles.
Okay.
So that's what we spend a good part of the week doing.
Yeah.
And then also B&B branded sort of identity promoting concepts as well that just service our brand and kind of our guests.
Yeah.
So I have a little team, and we kind of just get together every Monday and be like, what's coming down the pipeline? And it's not only theatrical too. We've got, locations with bowling alleys and arcades and food and beverage. So we're kind of trying to figure out how to promote all that stuff, but stay fun and not be too commercial and gross about it. So
yeah. Well, I think you're winning at it not being gross. I think you've got
that
down.
Thank you. Yeah. That's good.
You've got my vote of confidence.
I'll take that.
So, yeah. Okay, so I was really excited to reach out to you and your team to have you on. I love movies. I love storytelling. Yeah. I love getting lost in a plot of something. It's actually really funny. I had to get together with girls the other night, and we were talking about what people are streaming. And there were a few people that were like, I don't watch anything. And I was like, I don't understand. How do you not get into the storyline of something, whether you're streaming it or a new movie that's out?
Yeah.
And, we all grew up in the movie theater experience. So how did you get into B&B Theatres? Because I noticed that you've been there for 17 years.
Yeah, kind of a little while now.
Was it all about the movie theater experience?
It still sort of is for me, I think. I grew up like so many people, loving movies, loving watching them in movie theaters, loving watching them at home with my older brother. I just love movies. My first job was at a video store, Club Video in Neosho, Missouri, which is no more. Like the rest of the video stores is extinct. But I
haven't made the last store into like an Airbnb. Didn't Blockbuster?
No, it's like a quick loan store now or something. Yeah,
of course.
But I got married in St. Louis and moved back to my hometown, which is Neosho, Missouri. This would have been in 2008, and I didn't have a job.
Okay.
A friend of mine was managing the movie theater there in town, which is a B&B, and he said, hey, man, I need like an assistant manager if you want to come manage this place with me. And I said, sure. And then 3 months later, he left to go work for a bank, and I took over and kind of just never left. So I was in management
Meant to
for
be.
B&B for 6 years before I came to the corporate office about 10 years ago.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah. What's the culture like there, working there? Do you get fun perks?
Yeah, well, yes. I think it's a fun industry,
Yeah.
you know, and it's fun to be a part of something. Kind of a proximity to Hollywood kind of is fun.
Yeah.
Hollywood adjacent. The culture of B&B, I think, is really exceptional.
Yeah.
It's family owned, has been for 100 years. So that's its own kind of thing. You know, decisions are made not impulsively, but I mean quickly. We're very nimble because we're not beholden to stockholders. So I think there's that kind of culture that prevails of like, we're moving, we're hustling, we're growing. And sometimes things happen. We learn on the fly and it's, you dig it or you don't.
Yeah.
But I think the culture of the industry is one of just excitement and tradition and history.
Yeah.
But it's evolving too. It's been changing a lot over the last few years. And so we're all kind of
Which
trying
we
to
definitely want to talk about.
Yeah, we're trying to forecast a little bit and keep up, but also stay ahead of the curve if we can and kind of read the tea leaves and make the right choices.
What do you know, for people that are listening and watching who love movies and maybe they like watching them at home, maybe they love going out to B&B theaters, but what would you want to convey to them about what makes B&B so different in terms of the experience there? And what they
Jeez
can
Louise,
expect?
yeah, I could go
The
on and on.
reminder to keep going and date night their kids, solo, whatever.
Well, I think, we've been talking about the threat of streaming or whatever for a long time. I feel like there's absolutely room in the marketplace for everybody.
Yeah.
I have all the services. My kids watch them every day, but the movies are different. And I think going to the movies is a different kind of experience. So I think there's the argument to be made for going to the movies, period, and then an argument to be made for going to the movies with us.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about us is we are all fans first. Virtually everyone in our office came from a theater management background.
Okay.
We just all kind of love it.
Yeah.
And we hope that translates into the experience that our guests have as well, that we're there to celebrate fandom. And, what makes that experience different is a sense of community. We're all sharing kind of in the same experience. It's bigger, it's louder, it's supposed to be cleaner, it's supposed to feel better and more exclusive. And so those are kinds of the things that we're aspiring for.
That would be, I can imagine working alongside people who have a similar background, who all have that same love. Like, that would be a completely different working culture. I'm thinking about people who were like, I want to go work, get into B&B theaters.
For sure, yeah.
Because you have how many area locations, theaters in KC?
I guess it depends on how you slice the metro. We've got maybe 10 across Kansas City.
Yeah. And then how far and wide does B&B theaters go across the country?
I mean, we're technically nationwide. We've got a few outliers, one in Washington State, a few in Florida and on the East Coast, but we're largely in the Midwest, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Iowa.
Yeah.
Which feels like home to us. Our owners are from Missouri and Kansas. So, I mean, whenever we can acquire or expand in this area, we're like, man, it's our backyard, and it feels really organic and natural.
Which I did want to ask. So, of course, I was doing my homework on B&B theaters, but I always like to know what's behind the name. So B&B, is it the husband-wife? Or what's the story
well, it stands
there?
for Bills and Bagby, or Bagby and Bills, depending on who you ask. How much of this story do you want? I don't know how much time we got.
I got all the time in the world. I'm a nerd, and I love the details.
I'll give you
and I
sort
love
of
to know
the
what brought
elevator
it together.
version.
Yeah.
There were the Bills family owned a circuit of theaters in Missouri. This is a long, long time ago. The Bagby family owned a similarly sized theater circuit in Kansas.
Okay.
And they were not competitive. They shared best practices. They went to conventions together. Long story, very, very, very short. Bob Bagby, who was a second-generation movie theater owner in Kansas, married Bridget Bills, who was a second-generation movie theater owner in Missouri.
Interesting.
And so they merged kind of their families and their businesses together to create what became B&B Theaters. So when we say B&B Theaters is a century old, that isn't exactly true, but the families that have been owning and operating the company, have been at the helm for a century.
Is it the oldest? Or is there another theater?
I think there may be a family-held one that's a little bit older. We are the largest privately held.
Yeah.
And the 5th largest circuit overall.
Yeah.
Which sounds impressive, I hope, but like the difference
does,
between 1 and 2 and us is a factor of like 50. So AMC and Regal have lots and lots more locations, but they operate, of course, very differently.
Yeah. So I was saying last night that my husband and I have 2 daughters, and our 8-year-old just out of nowhere was like, Mom, I want to go to the movies. And I was like, okay,
Good.
Which is really exciting.
Bless you, child.
Bless you, child. Yes, because we were, we were talking about how like Zootopia came out, and she's really excited for SpongeBob coming out. Which, by the way, this episode will come out after the first of the year. So I think SpongeBob is coming out in December.
Right.
You said.
Yep.
But I just thought it was so cute, to have an 8-year-old to be like, I want to go back. She loves the experience of it.
Yeah. What does she love about it?
Well, she wanted to go see the big screen.
Yeah.
And so we talked about the ScreenX, which is the 3. Do you want to talk? Because I wrote down, I was looking at it. You guys have a multitude of different theater experiences. And I'm not even sure everybody knows that, whether they, haven't been in a while, or maybe, I don't know if all the theaters have all of the same, but it's like Grand Screen, ScreenX, ScreenPLAY, which is for kids, different, 40X. I mean, talk about that, because that's like a differentiator, right?
Yes, very much so. And a lot of those are exclusive to B&B, certainly in the area. And man, we could spend a lot of time on that. The grand screen is what's known as our premium large format, or our PLF. So a lot of movie theater operators have their own kind of version of that.
Yeah.
Our grand screens are some of the largest screens in the nation.
How big is that? What does that even mean?
I mean, geez, we use different metrics. It's like 4 stories tall.
Okay.
They're like 70 feet, give or take. They're huge.
Yeah.
And then ScreenX, we are... I think the largest partner that ScreenX has domestically. Instead of just one screen in front of you, there are 2 projectors on each of the auditorium side walls. So it kind of wraps around you in like a 270-degree thing. And admittedly, I was very skeptical of that when I learned about the technology. I was like, man, I don't want to be... I felt like I'd be like watching tennis or something. Like you have to be turning your head or whatever.
Sure.
But it just fills up your periphery and kind of wraps around you.
And I just want to add, by the way, we saw Top Gun.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, Maverick.
Maverick, that came out, and it was a total game changer to be able to experience that in that setting.
Yep.
Yeah.
And movies like that are perfect for it.
And then Dune, too. I think
sure.
we saw
where there's just a ton of atmosphere. And it's incredible. ScreenX is incredible.
Yeah.
We have MX4D or 40X, depending on which location you're at, which are like moving seats. So there's like sensory elements.
Like a ride?
It is.
A little bit?
There's like a little kind of vibration thing, smoke, fog, rain, mist, bubbles.
Oh my gosh, really? I didn't know there was that much.
Yeah,
okay.
It's crazy. And that one, I think probably more than the others, is really content driven.
Yeah.
So you really need to have the right thing in there. As you can imagine, like children's films do well, and then horror titles.
Oh, okay.
Scary
Very
things.
opposite genres. Great.
Where
I
you
would
just
say, what are some examples of movies that have
do you remember
done
It?
really well? Yeah.
Yeah, that did very well.
Okay.
It's not really your cup of tea.
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah. And then my personal favorite moment from MX4D was, do you remember the DreamWorks Grinch a while back with like Benedict Cumberbatch was the voice of the Grinch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one. So we walked in a screening of that was full of just like a lot of kids. It was the scene where the Grinch and Max were sliding down the hill.
Yeah.
And so all the seats were kind of moving with the sled.
That's
and there
awesome.
was like snow pushing out of these things at the top of the screen. So these kids were like, it's cool. And like that's kind of the magical escapism that the movies are for.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see these platforms and different amenities evolve to continue to develop that.
Are you like, where do these ideas come from? Like, do you play a part in meeting with the team to figure out like what do we want to provide in terms of an experience moving forward for our customers? Or how does that work?
You mean me personally?
Yeah, you and like anyone within the company.
Kind of tangentially, they sort of ask generally like, what do you guys think of this? Because there are a lot of things out there, and some things that we've kind of said no to. But generally, we have a programming and development team who kind of figure out what our buildings are going to look like, what they're going to offer, and then it's up to us to tell people about them and encourage them to try them out.
Yeah.
ScreenPLAY, I think, is one of my favorite ones. That's the one with the playground in the auditorium.
Yes.
Super duper cool.
We have definitely done that. I mean, there was a point where I was like, I think we had one kid watching the movie, and then so kind of explain it. It's on one side of the theater. Is that what it is? Sort of a playground that goes like
a
floor
playground.
Ceiling?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That for 30 minutes before the movie starts, kids are actually encouraged to kind of run around and
to get a little
their
exhausted.
wiggles out. Or I mean, if it's 105 outside or 0, then there's a place you can go and like run around a little bit. But there's a custom pre-show on screen during that playtime with a little timer that's like, this is how much time you got left till the movie starts. There's music and interactive activities and stuff, but also like suggestions for how you watch movies together as a group.
Okay.
So you're kind of saying like, yes, you're playing, but there will come a time where we go to our seats together and we sit down, we use whisper voices and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We were sort of met with some reluctance from the general population. They're like, oh, my kid would never sit down or whatever.
Oh.
we found almost without exception that's not the case. That we have a song to get them to their seats, and they get to help bring the lights down. So it's kind
very
of
innovative,
makes them a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think kind of on the topic of kids, so we've got 2 kids, as I've mentioned. You have kids?
I got 3 kids, yeah.
3
16, 13, and 8.
Okay. So so they have grown up in this world of B&B.
They've known nothing else.
Yeah. They're going to end up in the industry, right?
Well, my daughter works at the Theater in Liberty.
Well,
so,
of course she does. Yeah.
We are second generation ourselves.
Yeah. The idea of like the birthday parties and things like that. Do you get a lot of interest for people to do that? Kind of like special events that people come in for?
Oh, yeah.
Does that go beyond kids?
All the time.
Family affairs?
Shoot. I mean, yeah, we do birthday parties all the time, but I mean, you name it, we've done it. We've done like military farewells. We've held weddings.
Really?
People have actually literally been married in our buildings.
Interesting.
We've done a lot of receptions.
What do they do? Do they pick a movie? Like, can they customize the movie that they want to play?
I mean,
or is it like whatever's coming out?
Depending on what you want to do and the time of year, and I guess what your budget is, we can kind of make anything work.
That's wild.
But I mean, there are a lot of people who came to B&B for their first date. And they're like, man, we want to get married in the auditorium where we kind of spent our first time together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man, to be a part of that, you know?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Are there any other crazy like things that people have done that are kind of outlandish ideas that people are like, I didn't even know. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, we're kind of constantly surprised at what people want to do. We rent a ton of our buildings are rented on Sunday mornings for church services.
Okay.
Sometimes they choose to stay there or they're in between facilities. And so it's cool, like to be not only a place where people can go watch a movie, but a kind of a community hub and where just a space where people know what to expect. They're like, yeah, I know what the building's like. I know where it is. I know it's going to be presentable and people are going to be friendly. Can we use it for X, Y, or Z?
Feels very comfortable. And
we hope so. Yeah. And the answer almost without exception is going to be yes. We want to make it happen, provided that we aren't obligated to have movies on screen, which we sometimes are.
There you go. Okay, so we are wrapping up 2025. I would love to talk a little bit about, how the industry has evolved and like where we've gotten to. Where do you see 2026? What are you most excited about when it comes to the theater experience or even big movies that are coming out that you would encourage people to go see on a certain screen, maybe?
Wow, yeah. I can answer. I could approach that from a couple of different directions. I mean, 2025 has been a challenging year, really, for the industry. And it's been a while since we haven't had a challenging year. 2019 was kind of the benchmark for a long time. Pre-pandemic, everybody's sick of talking about it, but it's still felt. I think economically, I think people are still kind of figuring out the new whatever and where, honestly, we fit in that. I think during lockdowns and stuff, people fell out of habits that they had been in for a long time. And it used to be like, if you didn't have anything to do, you're like, I don't know, man, you want to go to the movies? Like, that's what you do. And so we've been really trying to work to restore that sense of Americana, I guess. This is just part of the habit of being in this country and the freedom or whatever to enjoy yourself at the movies. There were some rough patches. A lot of things got moved around this year. And so coming into Q4, we were like, man, I hope this shows up. The holiday season is always enormous.
Of course.
And incredibly significant.
Does that kind of start like right before Thanksgiving, or what is the holiday season?
And really through the end of the year. And it has absolutely been what we've needed it to be and wanted it to be. And so for us, I mean, we don't really pay much attention to like critics or pundits or whatever. They say what they say and life goes on. But the cycle has been accurate. Ups and downs, and then when there are good movies released at good times, people show up with it. I mean, that will always be the case, I think. And so, I mean, this Thanksgiving was good, and then going into the holidays with Christmas, we've got, I mean, on December 19th alone, we've got the SpongeBob movie where you and your family will be.
Which I mentioned, that song is on repeat in our house right now, the Ice Spice.
I'm so sorry.
SpongeBob
I mean, that's a great, but
great
after
song, but
hours
sorry,
and hours and hours, I've gone through those phases as well. But I mean, and there have been some surprises, like Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was one that like just kind of came out of nowhere and was really way bigger than anybody kind of projected. And so those little surprises are always nice. But in December, there's, I mean, SpongeBob, The Housemaid, David, which is like a release from Angel. It's about like who became King David after he slew the giant and everything.
I think I saw, because we'll have to get to you and what you get to do, because you went to go see that. Was it a movie premiere?
It was, we went to the carpet for that.
We'll get to that in a second. But
and then Avatar, of course, Fire and Ash, which is the sequel to the third highest grossing film of all time,
Yeah.
which is the sequel to the first highest grossing film of all time.
Right.
So we'll see if it breaks records.
James Cameron, right? He's killing it.
I mean, and so I guess the point is there's no shortage of great movies.
Yeah.
There really is diverse content for everybody, and that will carry us through 2026. And it just builds upon itself. That's what's, I think, so exciting about the industry, too, is when people show up for Avatar, for example, they'll get the 6-minute trailer for The Odyssey from Christopher Nolan, which people are excited about.
Oh, right.
And they'll get the teaser for Avengers Doomsday, which is like the promise of kind of returning to the spirit of like
Endgame. Really
Endgame.
be interesting to see how that brings people.
I know.
Yeah.
It will be.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we all have to get out of our living rooms and basements and,
Yeah, and it's
have something that kind of moves you in a different way visually.
It's a reminder, I think, that some things are better with a lot of people and scaled up.
Like
and
going out to eat. You
Yeah.
know, let's just small, dumb comparison. But honestly,
you're exactly right.
I'm not a great cook, and it's not as good at home. So why don't we go out?
It's funny you say that because one of our owners, this would have been Elmer Bills, who is the grandfather of our current president, Elmer Bills. He would say everybody has a kitchen table, but they still go out to eat. And so there's all kinds of reasons to stay at home, but there's all kinds of reasons to get out too.
100%. Yeah. But I am also, this is all stemming off of 8 years of Kansas City bucket list, which is ultimately me being the anti-homebody. Don't get me wrong. Love my couch, love hanging out, comfort of my pajamas and everything. But I crave personally, like getting out of the house in a new experience, whatever that is. And so I think that it's just that reminder for people that like you rarely regret it. It is so fulfilling to take the time, get your family out, go on a date, go by yourself during the middle of the day, whatever. Change of scenery. Got to move around.
Preach.
Yeah.
Well, and we're not, we don't have an agenda. We're not pioneers or anything, but we feel, I think, a sense of obligation maybe and responsibility to provide that.
Yeah.
And I even see it in my kids. My youngest grew up during a weird time in the world where it wasn't as easy to go out or whatever. And so we're doing things, we're hosting trivia, for example, and like bingo at a number of our locations.
Oh, really? Is that like in the lobby? Are you doing it in the theater?
It kind of depends rarely in the theater, but in a lot of our locations we have like big lobbies with a lot of room for seating, or at Johnny's and Liberty we have kind of like a stage. But these things are free to attend, and they're just kind of designed to create exactly what you just described, of like a place where you can go and just kind of hang out and not be at home.
So you're pairing a couple experiences together, which is pretty cool.
Well, yeah, and I think trying to redefine ourselves. There's the movie theater, but then there's also B&B, what's going on at B&B, because we know there's more than just movies there. And have some kind of activation or event as often as we can. I
think the other thing that's really important is to note what you guys are doing for like inclusivity, sensory stuff like that. Can you talk about that? Because I think there are so many people that might be unaware that you guys have, do you have sensory backpacks, right?
We do, yeah.
And all that. So talk about that, because I think there's a huge audience of people, both kids and adults alike, that would put them at ease. Maybe they don't know or they forgot,
Right on, man. Yeah. I was fortunate years and years ago to cross paths with Deb Wiebricht, who was with Variety Kansas City.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the children's charity. And she is great. She's since kind of moved on. There's another great team at Variety KC, but Deb was just sort of like non-judgmental, but also kind of like, you guys, I think, should consider doing more.
Because you didn't have anything at the time?
Well, I mean, we were
kind of
in
minimal
complete compliance with ADA, but it just wasn't really on the radar in I think, the best kind of way. And we just had a great conversation, like, well, tell me what there is, because I didn't even know what the needs were that we weren't meeting.
You didn't know what you didn't
exactly
know. Yeah, I mean, needed someone to come in and enlighten you.
And so it became a thing. And I'm really proud to say we've become a leader in the industry for our sort of inclusion revolution. So what you're talking about is our sensory backpacks, which are free. And they're not exclusive to B&B. You can get them at like sporting games and at the zoo and stuff.
Yeah.
But they have like a weighted lap blanket, noise dampening headphones, little fidget cubes.
Okay.
So anybody, even adults who have sensory concerns or they're troubled by whatever, the atmosphere or the lack of lighting, it's just designed to make it easier for them.
Yeah.
And it's totally free. They don't have to pay us or anything. We have sensory show times that we host where the lights are a little bit brighter, the sound is a little bit lower.
Okay.
And those are a beautiful thing to attend because it's kind of a circus, man.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
So like everybody's running around, people are having whatever outbursts they need to have, and no one cares.
Yeah.
And it's really, really great.
Yeah. So I was reading, so you have the backpacks, open caption showtimes, offering lessons in basic Spanish and American Sign Language to your staff. Is that
right? So
like you guys are doing a ton.
We're trying.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And seriously, we're open. I mean, if anybody listening, like send us an email and say, oh my gosh, think about this. And we will. We partner with Behavioral Health Kansas City for that, what we call Inclusion at the Movies, which is an internal employee-facing program that's like, here's some basic sign language you can learn. Here's some basic Spanish. Yeah. And then also appropriately teaching them how to engage. You don't want to make assumptions about what a person may or may not need, but there might be an appropriate, comfortable, diplomatic way to bring it up.
Yeah.
And so just crossing those kinds of bridges to make sure that we're everybody feels like they're welcome with us.
I love that. Yeah. Let's also talk about, for people who do regularly go to the movies, the Backstage Pass, right?
Right.
So what does that entail?
The Backstage Pass is our loyalty program, which is totally free to join. And anybody can sign up on our website, which is bbtheaters.com. 2 B's as in boy, Theatres.
B&B.
Doesn't cost anything. And you use your phone number as like your account number. So when you go in, you will be asked, do you remember the Backstage Pass? Give them your phone number, and then you're good to go. But basically for every dollar that you spend, you earn points on your account, which can be redeemed for rewards or for discounts or for coupons down the line. My personal favorite perk, though, is Treat Yourself Tuesdays. Okay. Which is Tuesdays kind of like the industry-sanctioned discount day. But tickets for Backstage Pass members start at just $6 on Tuesdays. Okay. And then you get half off your popcorn and that I mean, it's just the day to go. And so really, if you've never been to one of those amenities that we were talking about, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'd like MX4D. That sounds kind of crazy. Go on a Tuesday.
Check it out.
That's the time to shoot your shot and see if you like it.
Yeah.
Or the movie that you're like, I don't know if this one's going to be a good one or not.
Yeah.
Everybody goes on Tuesday.
Why not do it?
It's a super duper busy day for us.
It's free to download the app and join.
Yeah, the app's free.
Why not?
Yeah. And I mean, that's another thing that's kind of rare. Honestly, we don't have any kind of paid subscription. Yeah. It's just a free way to kind of give back for people who visit with frequency and high patronage.
So let's talk about you for a second, because as I told you, I was going down a rabbit trail to figure out, let's learn about Paul, just thinking he's like executive, director of communications, or, what was that your title?
Did you think I'd be all stodgy and come in with a tie and
probably
stuff?
Just a little bit, just kind of like, you by default profile people when they have a title or whatever.
I feel like my name, too, is like a 75-year-old man's name.
Okay, I actually wrote this down. Do you know, well, you obviously know you're not the only Paul Farnsworth.
I did know that, yeah.
Okay, because I originally stumbled upon an internationally acclaimed theater designer, including Wicked and Jesus Christ Superstar. I wrote down. Did you know
Paul
that?
Farnsworth? No, I didn't know that.
I was like, well, okay, that's kind of adjacent.
It is.
To what you were doing. So I was like, I'll have to ask him.
Suspiciously so, in fact.
Yeah, quickly found out with Google Images it wasn't you. But yeah, just in case you wanted to know if you're being, your identity is being stolen, you do have some accolades for what
Fantastic.
You have. Yeah, your theater design.
I may just add that to the resume.
You should. Yeah. I thought that was funny. But then, and then the other thing is too, you are writing Falcor in your Facebook profile image.
That's right.
Do you still go on Facebook? Do you know that that's still your profile picture?
Yes, I do know that.
Which I absolutely love. I just saw Falcor in the flesh at Planet Comic-Con last year.
I was there as well.
Okay, I figured as much.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Is that a favorite movie? I mean, that movie is, to me, my childhood. My sister and I joke about all the time how creepy the movie actually really kind of is. Wait, that could be offensive.
It didn't offend me. I don't know that I agree with you. I think it's a perfect movie.
It's so dark and so interesting, but yet we watched it all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
I feel that way about a lot of movies that I watched growing up. Did you ever see Return to Oz? I don't want to
I feel like I
derail our
have seen it, but
it's very much the same way.
I have to go back and double check it.
That when I was a kid, I remember thinking like, "Oh, this is crazy! Like how wild!" And now I've seen it again as an adult. Like it's the stuff of nightmares. And I think that there are elements of the Neverending Story. I think that are a little bit heavy for a young mind, but
a little different. But there were so many. I mean, we even joke about, you're a parent, like the songs that are out now, or the songs that we listened to as kids. When we go back and listen to them now, we were like,
what?
Holy smokes. Like, what were we even singing?
Yep.
And thank goodness I didn't know all the words to them. But kind of a similar thing probably with movies and jokes that are in them too. Okay, so anyway, back to you and your amazingly fun persona that you have on social media. Talk about what you get to do with this job, because I think it is such a testament to like how much fun you're having working with B&B Theaters. And you're really bringing that to the screen to show people. I think it's such a good reminder of like how much fun movies are, and it's for everybody.
Yeah.
There's so much excitement in it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is actually genuinely good to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Because it is fun for us, but it's also, I mean, it is a job.
Yeah.
And we sort of feel the burden of like having to constantly create something and meet a posting schedule or whatever. So I'm glad that it's translating the way that we want it to.
Yeah.
It came up, I think, years and years ago. Man, I truly don't remember. It's been years though. When Facebook was kind of in its prime, we recognized that we didn't really have much of a presence, and this was. Man, I'm sorry, I keep like interrupting myself. In 2014, we bought Dickinson Theatres.
Okay.
Which had a major Kansas City presence.
Okay.
And so we doubled overnight at that point, basically.
They weren't based out of KC, though?
I think maybe they were, yeah.
Okay.
That's a great question. I'm kind of embarrassed I don't know the answer. But it was an important moment for us because we offered everybody from Dickinson a job, and it became this merging of all these, of two disparate corporate cultures.
Yeah.
And so at that time, we began building out broader teams of like, okay, cool, let's have like a sales team and let's create a marketing team. We didn't really have this.
Go figure.
Because we were pretty small. And so I came up from where I was living in St. Louis, and Chris Tickner, who's now our director of marketing, moved from like Wiley, Texas, and we kind of assembled this group of people.
Yeah.
And this was one of the things that we recognized that we didn't exactly have, was much of a digital presence.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, geez, how do you even do that? And so we started just kind of making videos. And
so is he the other guy that I might see?
Yeah.
In a lot of
we are often mistaken for brothers. We look sort of similar.
Yeah. I can see
he has like glasses and beard and stuff. But what really kind of put us in our current trajectory was we got on Musical.ly, which was the precursor to TikTok. And so as far as movie theater companies are concerned, we were basically first to market.
Okay.
And still have, I think, the best engagement and some of the highest viewership of any movie theater company on the platform. And so as we started building that out, opportunities kind of began to open up for us. Almost as if we were like an influencer. Yeah. Which is insane because we don't want to be that, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
depends on how you look at it. But you were creating content.
That's true, I guess. Yeah. I mean, we want to influence, I guess, and incentivize and inform. But we were really coming from it from this place of like pure, I mean, we were just excited about movies and we wanted to talk about them and be like, hey, this is coming out and we're going to watch it and you guys can and come here to watch it. Long story short, it started with a junket for Acrimony, which is a movie from Lionsgate directed by Tyler Perry. Okay. This was like 8 or 9 years ago. And they said, if you can get to New York City, like you got to pay to get there, you got to pay for where you're staying and your food and everything, but we have a slot for you if you want to do it. And so we were like, man, is that worth it? It was like thousands of dollars to go. So we did.
Was that like your first opportunity
that was
to kind of like
first
do a big...
Yeah, it was the first step out of Liberty, really. Yeah. But also kind of linking arms with a studio to promote a specific film. Perfect. And we did it and it was great. And then we did that for a couple of years, paying our own way. They're like, we can create a spot for you if you can get there. And as we continue to grow, it continued to evolve to now they're like... paying for us to go. And
how often are you doing that?
Well, there are sort of seasons to it. I mean, during busy times, literally last week I flew from Kansas City to New York City to Salt Lake City. Yeah. Back to Kansas City to LA, back to Kansas City.
Oh my gosh.
In like 4 days.
Literally coast to coast.
Yeah.
Because you did David.
I did Supergirl before that.
Supergirl, that's right. Which you had the shirt on. Yeah. Awesome.
And then I was in LA just now for Song Sung Blue and I Can Only Imagine Part 2, which comes out next year. Okay. So it's crazy. And we kind of rarely say no. I mean, if they're paying for it, we want to take advantage of it. And it's fun too because, man, like I really do feel this way. And somebody needs to tell me if I ever stop being this way because Chris and I both, we come from small towns. We love movies. We love managing movie theaters. So it's like a ride for us.
I bet.
And it's so, I think a lot of the feedback that we get is from people like us in towns like the ones we come from. Yeah. Who are like, this is so crazy that you're there. And they kind of feel like we're taking them.
Like a dream job a little bit? Do you feel like it's like you get to
mean, kind of, yeah. And it's kind of like, we've met people that we never thought we would ever get to see. And
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves a couple times, yeah.
It's amazing.
And like Paramount.
I love Hollywood and movies and everything that I'm like, can you bring me along maybe sometime to a premiere? I know I'm not like on the payroll, but
what would be the one that you would want to get to?
Oh, I don't even know. That's a really good question. What's coming out next year? Maybe we could narrow it down to something.
Yeah.
Like that. I would totally do a James Cameron movie any day.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? So.
I mean, Devil Wears Prada 2 is going to be a big
that's
one.
a no-brainer.
Yeah, I thought that might be a good one.
That's right up my alley. Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we're guaranteed it. And it's kind of always, like, it's always a welcome surprise.
It's
and
so fun, though.
I don't want to, like, show our hand too much here, really, but what we've allowed to be our sort of guiding light is just fandom, gratitude, transparency. I mean, we are so thankful for those opportunities, and we don't take any of them for granted. And I don't know that that's a common kind of reaction
or partnership.
That's often offered to the studios, and so I think it might be refreshing, but that's just the way we do it. So.
How many movies come out per year? Like how many movies did B&B Theaters show in 2025?
Oh man, I have no idea.
Do movies come out every week? Do they come out or is it kind of like ebb and flow?
Yeah, that has been, I think, one of the contributing factors to the down years that we've had is less content being released theatrically. And that's one of the reasons why people are so excited for 2026, because I think there's like 100 theatrical releases next year, maybe more. And over the last 5 or 6 years, we've been down 20-30% just in terms of the number of movies going to theaters.
Has it just caught up? Like, is that what it used to be pre-COVID, and has it caught up, or is there a rhyme or reason
why? The answer to that question will probably depend on who you ask. I think there were a couple of years where studios were doing a lot of experimentation.
Yeah.
I really don't want to talk about we can talk about whatever you want, but I don't want to keep like But like the pandemic was a thing that triggered whatever.
Yeah.
And so for a time, studios were like, maybe we just push this to streaming. And it was like in real time, we were seeing models put to the test. A great example is Wonder Woman 1984. I don't know if you remember that one. It opened day and date. So it opened in theaters the same time it opened on HBO Max. Okay. And what was so compelling about that, first of all, is that they didn't make their money back without a theatrical exclusive window.
Okay.
But also, the like guest or the viewer rating for the film was notably lower for people who watched it at home. So that was like in real time, we're seeing people say the same movie in a movie theater is a better movie.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible testimonial to the experience. But there's still been a lot of that and shuffling around properties and IPs across streaming platforms. There is, I think, this is just me talking, like honestly not even as Paul anymore from B&B, just me. I think there's probably a critical mass of people are going to get, I don't know, fed up with like, it's basically cable again. We're paying for all of these streaming services. I don't know where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
But the theater industry has been through it all 100 times.
You've probably learned so much, though.
Well, yeah, we really have. I mean, and a lot of that I wasn't around for, like wars and recessions and whatever. But the pandemic, I think we're operating very lean now. I think we realized what it took to really run efficiently because we kind of had to get serious about it. 2019, 2020, you could be, not that we were, but you could operate fairly inefficiently, and people would show up and spend money. And now it's a lot more competitive kind of landscape. And so we've learned some important good lessons. And I think in many ways we're as strong a company as we've ever been. And so it's exciting to be positioned in that way going into this holiday season and this new year.
Does B&B Theaters get every movie? Or maybe then, aside from like indie movies or something like that. But like, how does that work? Or do you have to go in asking for certain movies to come?
Fortunately, I don't have to do any of that because it sounds like a terrible process. But we have film buyers who are great, intelligent, competent people. I'm friendly with all of them. But they enter those negotiations literally every week.
Okay.
Where
that's like a whole other topic to get into.
And frankly, I don't understand it. And I don't want to because I think it is probably as political as this industry gets about like, you have to curry favor and you have to kind of scratch backs and they negotiate film rental terms, which is something that a lot of, Joe moviegoer doesn't know about. We don't own these movies. We rent them literally.
Oh, that's funny.
And so we pay a percentage of box office back to the studios.
Yeah.
And depending on what studio that is, the percentage may or may not be significantly higher.
Yeah.
And so, which is why the price of concessions is what it is. And so the film buyers figure out what movies to play in what towns, in what auditoriums, at what times, and at what rate.
Okay.
Which just does not interest me at all, but it is
I know.
super important.
My mind
work.
just went to like, we're in the world of like, soccer and sports and how people have to figure out like who's playing where and what time, what day and what field. And I'm like, that would make me crazy.
Well, and I mean,
thank goodness.
Yeah, it matters for all kinds of reasons. They have a great understanding of our market demographics. And so, for example, we have a number of theater locations in towns with like huge military bases.
Yeah.
We have one in Waynesville, like right outside Fort Leonard Wood.
Okay.
We're close to like Whiteman Air Force Base. So there are certain movies that you can understand would play a lot better in those towns. And so those kinds of considerations are really important when deciding what movies to put where. Yeah. And then we have auditoriums like the Lyric, which are designed to play.
I had never even heard of that until I pulled that.
Yeah, I mean, it just has higher end finishes. It's just like, oh, this feels kind of special in here.
Yeah.
But the idea is to play art house films or indie titles in there as much as we can.
Got it.
And so just to kind of create a diverse slate, like if there's something you're looking for, we're trying to create a place where it can play.
So as I'm looking through like the different theater experiences, so what makes some of the theaters around KC different from one another? Like, can you talk to that? Like, would I go to Liberty for one reason, or would I go to Power and Light for another reason? Like, what kind of makes the theaters, or are they all pretty much the same?
No, that's a good question. I hope there will be things that feel the same, that you feel like, oh, I must be at a B&B because I feel so good here or whatever.
Of course.
Main Street, downtown at Power and Light, I think is a super exclusive, it's very unique building across the B&B circuit. I mean, it's a 100-year-old place. Of course you can go there and watch movies, but there's a beautiful bar there. We have live music and we host all kinds of events there. It's just like a spot that kind of has its own vibe and feel to it. And plus you're downtown. So if there's a bunch of other stuff you want to do, you're right in the heart of it.
Prime location.
A lot of those theatrical amenities can be found across the metro, from Overland Park to Shawnee to Lee Summit to Liberty. We actually own what's called the Northland location off 152 in Brighton, which is like 3 miles from Liberty.
Okay.
So those we kind of try to counter program a little bit. Like if there's not something playing in Liberty, it might be playing down the road at Northland. So there's a bit of that. And then I think one unique thing that's worth mentioning is our location in Shawnee is home to MTKC, which is like live theater.
Oh, really?
So we partnered with Music Theater Kansas City.
Is that new? Or have I just been...
No, it's been a few years now, but it's been an evolution for sure as we've kind of continued to build out their space there. But I mean, it is legit, like full on, because the MTKC is an incredible program of young, talented music theater people. Okay. But they also have like adult pro shows. So we do Christmas stuff, and they do like Elf and stuff every year, but also
So you're going to see a live performance, or is it, and then you pair it with a movie, or it's just in and of itself,
that is
like
its own dedicated auditorium. So there's never a movie playing in there.
Yeah.
The truth of it is the Bagby kids, who are we have 3 presidents right now at B&B.
Okay.
Bobby, Brittany, and Brock Bagby.
All B's, of course. Should have known.
And they are also all MTKC alum. And so there's a soft spot certainly for them for the program.
Yeah.
But they also just do incredible work. And so it's a nod to their history with the organization, but also I think, an intentional show of appreciation for the arts generally. And it's cool to have a live theater.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
You really should. It's
See, this
really,
is why
really
I love
incredible.
talking to people, because, like, I know so much about what's happening around KC, and then never fails me that I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know
I'm
that
the
that
exact
was a thing, so.
I know how much I don't know, so I love being surprised. I'm constantly being like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was so close to home.
Yeah, but you didn't grow up in KC. You're from the Ozarks.
Yeah, from Southwest Missouri.
Did you watch the show Ozark?
I did. I did.
That's not your family background, is it?
No, but I mean, I knew some people who could have been extras.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up and do some fun rapid fire questions.
Oh, let's go.
Because you do live in the KC metro with you and your family. Anything else that you want to talk about with B&B, brag about? I mean, you guys have such, like I said, my family, we go to B&B Theatres in OP, and, you can just tell it's like such a welcoming family experience. My daughters love ScreenX. They, it's such a good experience for us. We love it. So anything else that you want to share from your perspective about, it being such a great thing for KC people to do?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this has been a great conversation.
Yeah,
I don't want to sit here and horn toot, as they say.
But I am opening that up.
Well,
for you
thank
today.
you. This has been a hot button issue for me, really, as we've grown. I have been adamant, along with so many other people in our office. I'm like, we have to get big. Yes, we have to grow. We have to expand. We have to go into new markets. But like, we gotta be who we are.
Yeah.
And we can't allow that to change. And that's the thing that keeps so many of us with the company.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was a time really where it was at risk, but I think we felt it, the pressure of getting big. And like, oh my gosh, we have to kind of work in the service of numbers, and we have vendors and partners and landlords and bankers. We have to keep those people happy, but never ever at the expense or at the compromise of our values and of our integrity. And those are the things that really do come from here.
Yeah.
I mean, our owners live in Kansas City.
Yeah, I love that.
And they are from this
that's
place.
why I wanted to learn more about the brand, because of all of that.
And like, I really can't overstate it as a differentiator for us. When we go to LA or when we go to New York City, we're different, and it's not embarrassing. It's like, people are like, oh my gosh, like, you guys are on time, and you're nice, and you're courteous, and you don't
go figure
push anything, because I think there is a sensibility about this part of the country, but also about our company that is really important to us. And it's just great for us.
And that just makes its way through, and like your staff day to day.
I hope it does. Yeah. And it's a through line of all of our training and orientation and development pieces, is like, here's the skills that you need, but also this is what we want to project.
Yeah.
And so I guess I only mention that because that is the standard. And when people visit us in Kansas City, they should experience that. And if they don't, they can let me know, because we want to get it righted.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to get into some rapid fire questions, but I kind of want to add one on. Like, what is your go-to movie that you could watch over and over and over again?
Oh my gosh, I have a bunch of those.
Okay,
this is a rapid fire. I just say off the top.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Okay. The original?
Yes.
OG.
From 1994. The Matrix, I think, is on there. And I think my wild card, I know.
Yeah.
He's dreaming.
Made his way through.
And then, do you know my Keanu story, by the way?
No.
I can tell you now, or I can tell you later.
No, tell me now. Tell me now.
We were on the carpet for John Wick 3.
Okay.
And I'd never met Keanu Reeves before. I was very excited to meet him.
Yeah.
And so he's coming down the pipeline. He was with Chad Stahelski, who directed that movie and was also the stunt coordinator. They were kind of working together. I did my interview questions, and then there's a moderator, like a handler, who will tap you when it's time to stop talking. Like, we're done. We're moving on.
How nice.
So I knew it was time to wrap.
Yeah.
So I said, I may never see you again. So I'm just kind of like, shoot my shot here, man. I would love to do a Wild Stallions air guitar from Bill and Ted if you're agreeable.
Way.
And the lady she was like, nope, we're not doing that. We're here to talk about John Wick. We're not doing anything else, because that's not from the same studio.
Okay.
And he looked at her and he said, but he wants to do it.
Yeah.
And I want to do it.
Yes.
So I think we're going to do it.
No way.
So then we did it together. So that was one of those moments, like, don't meet your heroes, man, unless your hero is Keanu Reeves, because he will not let you
But
down.
I've heard that about him. I've heard that he is genuinely like a good guy.
I think that's true.
So that's not surprising to me, as someone who really does love pop culture and
and it's cool when you realize too that, I mean, they're just guys, they're just people doing their jobs, and it's cool when they have stayed grounded despite worldwide acclaim.
Love.
My wild card answer to wrap this one up is School of Rock.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
Just saw him. He's coming out with Paul Rudd in
Anaconda.
Yeah, there you
go. On Christmas Day.
I just saw him this morning on the Today Show talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. What a weird.
He is a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can only imagine hanging out with him, like grabbing a drink or lunch with that guy.
I couldn't even keep up. I don't even know what you do.
So
you just
funny.
let him go.
Yeah. Just let him go. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Good. I love that. All right. What is currently on your Kansas City bucket list? What do you want to do?
Good heavens. Oh my gosh, fingers crossed somehow I score some World Cup tickets.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, FIFA is making its way through most conversations.
I don't think I have a prayer. I don't think I know the right people.
I don't know even how that works. I don't even pretend to know. So, yeah. Where are we at with that? Like, are you in a drawing or is there even a drawing anymore?
If there is, I'm not in it.
Okay.
The chances of me, but I'm putting it out there. I'm manifesting.
Okay.
I guess
love it.
that would be a
FIFA,
major bucket list.
We got to figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Done and done. Anybody that you would want to hear on this podcast? Anyone that you'd love to see or hear a bit more about their story here in KC?
Wow.
Related to Kansas City. They don't have to live here.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. One thing that I think I have found fascinating is about the history of the city.
Okay.
So I don't know who would be the guy
funny.
or the person.
That's on my list of things to figure out because I
Okay.
do think there's so many people that are interested in history in general.
Well-
and actually, one of my questions is, what do you want to know more about regarding the Kansas City lifestyle? But it could be the history of.
That would be it.
We
'Cause
got
I
to
think
find out who those people
when we
would
took
be.
over Main Street, that building has a huge
Yeah.
history, and we kind of learned a little bit about that. And we did like a prohibition tour. It's just cool. Like, there's been a lot of things that have happened here, and I don't know enough about them.
Oh, okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Have you had any ghosts in that building? Any?
I've
stories?
been told. I've been told, but I have not personally witnessed any, and for that, I'm grateful.
Do you have a favorite hidden gem in Kansas City? A local haunt or
A local haunt.
anything that you're like?
I'm
they have the
afraid I'm
best
disappointing you because I'm
sandwich.
such a
No, you're not at all.
homebody.
No, you're good.
I think what my answer is going to be is we love sort of touring dog parks around
great.
Kansas City.
No, there's no wrong
and
answer. I love
we've been
that.
to a bunch. I mean, we sort of make it a point to like go to different parts of the city with
Okay.
our dog. We just got a new dog last year, Murphy. He's a
Congratulations.
Beagle Basset mix. I know.
Aw.
And so
Puppy? Or did you?
she was a puppy, yeah. So she's just a year old now.
So fun.
So I guess that's kind of my answer. And we've sort of found some, and it's given us a great excuse to
Any that have a
visit different
name that
parts.
we could add to our list of
Well,
places
I mean,
that you know off the top of your head.
just the ones in Liberty I remember
Okay.
the names of.
We
There's
can
like
narrow those
Stocksdale
down.
Park, and then at Bennett Park there's one, and
Okay.
downtown Liberty. I'm sorry.
Love it. No, you're good. No, I will go find it.
Put me on the spot. I'm
Don't
getting
you
all
worry.
sweaty with these hot seat questions.
Well, no, I mean, rapid fire is definitely what it is. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to think on
Yeah,
the spot.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I am terrible at it, which is the irony of me making people do it. Okay, in your opinion, what makes Kansas City so unique, so great?
Okay. Yeah, this is my opinion. I lived in St. Louis for 4 years. Well, sort of. I lived in West County, which is really it's its own thing. Which was it was not a community where I felt, I don't know. I just never felt at home there.
Okay.
And within 5 months of living in this area, I was like, okay, man. I mean, the pace of the city is agreeable.
Yeah.
It's easy to navigate. It's clean. People are friendly.
Yep.
That's it for me.
Perfect.
And I think that it's great that we have a big city
Yeah.
that feels like a small one.
Love it.
And I'm here for that.
And you get to raise your kids in that.
That's right.
And then the last question, and you said you're a bit of a homebody, but maybe you have an answer to this. If you could have your last meal on earth at a Kansas City restaurant, where would you have your last meal?
Oh, I don't know. I need a recommendation for that.
Okay. You guys like to eat at home?
We do.
Great.
And it's great. Although my policy generally is if somebody else cooks it or pays for it, I will eat it
Done.
graciously.
Yeah.
I don't much care what it is. I'm sorry. I'm
You're
not sure
fine.
what to say.
All
But
good.
I'm serious. I would welcome from
Okay.
you. What
well,
do you have?
I've got plenty for
okay,
you.
yeah. Give me a list.
I'll give them to you off the podcast recording. We'll have
Perfect.
plenty. We'll see what kind of food you like.
That'd be great.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has been really fun. Like
It's
I said,
been a pleasure.
I love the industry that you're in. I've talked a lot about how we love the experience that we have at B&B Theaters. Really excited for what's to come in 2026. We're here to support you guys. Like, it's so great. The backstory is from Kansas City, 100 years old as of 2024.
That's right.
That's incredible. Where can people find B&B Theaters? Where should they follow you and your fun shenanigans with Keanu Reeves and all the things?
Yeah, basically any social media platform at BB Theaters.
Okay.
BBTHEATRES.
Yep.
Theatres.
Theatres.
Or our website, bbtheaters.com, and that'll redirect you to any of our platforms. But engage with us. Another thing I think that helps set us apart is if you email, if you drop us a voicemail, or if you comment on anything, by golly, we respond to it. So like we want to be sure that we're interacting, and
great customer
we want to hear from
service
people.
support. And download the app. Make sure
get the app.
Backstage
Yeah,
Pass.
thank you for plugging that.
And we're gonna do a giveaway too.
We are, that's right.
We're gonna do we're gonna do a little giveaway. So we'll get to that later on what that'll entail. But
Sounds good.
Really exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
It was so good to meet you.
Thank you. We'll
in
see you at the
person.
movies, yeah.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in and finding inspiration in these incredible stories. If you love what you hear, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, leave a rating, and share the show to help these Kansas City voices reach even more listeners.